I was, you might say, a curious child. As a kid, the build up to Christmas was usually more than I could bear. By the end of November, I would be rifling through drawers and closets in search of hidden Christmas gifts. It got so out of hand that Santa Claus resolved early on not to bring any gifts into the house that hadn't first been hermetically sealed in tamper proof wrapping paper and bound tight with meters and meters of Scotch tape. For good measure, Mrs. Claus saw to it that each package was adorned with a booby-trapped bow that I'm now fairly certain was crafted from something closer to razor wire than ribbon. Yet in time, even these efforts proved an inadequate deterrent for my inquiring little mind, as I soon perfected the delicate art of performing reconstructive surgery on the packages into which I had taken a peek. Eventually, having exhausted every conceivable security measure, Santa resorted to an ingenious strategy, labeling all of the gifts under the tree with a set of cryptic names my brothers and I couldn't possibly decipher. One year we were Superman, Batman, and Spider Man. Another year, our gifts appeared bearing the names Cinderella, Snow White, and Wonder Woman. On Christmas morning, when all was to be revealed, a little name tag buried deep in the toe of our stocking informed us of the name of our holiday alter ego. Needless to say, I was outmaneuvered. Not knowing which of the gifts were eventually to be mine, the thrill of trying to decipher what treasure each held inside was gone. Yet I wish I could say that it was only curiosity that drove my investigations. When I look back on this time, I realize that I was at the age when Christmas begins to lose some of its magic. Already skeptical about Santa, I had begun to uncover the painful truth that even a Christmas tree surrounded by a mountain of gifts, including most everything I asked for, could leave me with feelings of disappointment. It's not that I wasn't grateful for what I received. It's just that I was learning tough lessons about life's longing after things, experiences, relationships that are only very rarely fulfilled to the exact specifications of our made to order demands. In other words, I was learning some of my first lessons about disappointment. In the year or two I was sorting all of this out as a child, I think my peeking into the packages was an early attempt to manage my expectations. If I knew what to expect, if I wasn't surprised, I thought I could somehow guard against disappointment. Now, of course, this approach only partially worked because I never considered lowering my expectations. For a time, I kept alive the hope that the magic might somehow return, even while bracing myself for the likelihood that it never would. If I had been raised a Buddhist rather than a Baptist, I might have known that it was my attachment to a particular outcome that was fueling this vicious cycle of raised expectations being later deflated by reality. But I trust I might have also learned that much of life involves balancing the challenges that come with the cards that life deals to us. It is a delicate balance, this tension between our expectations and their potential to be either fulfilled or dashed by forces often beyond our control. Holding this tension in balance is hard work, but it is the work of being human. As we near the end of a year unlike any other in our lifetime, it is worth asking ourselves how we balance the hope we have for our lives with the inevitability of life's disappointments, especially now in these days as so much of what we knew to be our lives have been upended by the pandemic. Disappointment is, of course, something known to us all. It's often experienced in different ways, but over time, and certainly over a lifetime, our list of failures, hurts, and woes, when tallied up, end up looking much the same. I love how UU minister Patrick O'Neill describes our difficulty in coming to terms with the inescapable changes and challenges that are part of the human predicament. Here is how it is supposed to work, he says. We are supposed to be adults about this business of making life transitions. We are supposed to understand and accept that life comes to turns in the road. Friends move on, children grow up, elders pass away with time. The world changes. Good things happen, bad things happen to everyone. Success is sweet, losses hurt. Goodbyes are hard and inevitable, the price we pay for allowing others into our heart. Life includes heartbreak and sorrow and regrets, along with laughter and friendship and love. But the love is what counts most. It is what tips the scales between a worthwhile life and a tragic one. Our wounds are supposed to heal, and we're supposed to forget the pain. We're supposed to act brave, though secretly everyone is terrified at some time or other. We're supposed to believe that it will all work out for the best someday, and that for every door that closes, a new door will open. We are supposed to grow old gracefully and happily. We are supposed to die peacefully in our sleep, surrounded by those who love us. But here, he says, is how it really works. People tell us all of this when we are young, but we don't really listen to the parts that we don't want to accept. That is, until we have to live through them. Then we complain that no one told us how hard all of this was going to be. We're supposed to take our hits and keep our dignity and our wits about us at all times. But the truth is, life is often lived in a full state of panic with all dignity thrown to the winds. We lose it sometimes, all of it. Our dignity, our composure, our confidence, our tempers, our self-respect, our friendships. Some wounds don't heal. Some do, leaving ugly scars. Not everyone gets to grow old or be happy. Sometimes doors just close. But the love is what counts most. That part holds true, and it is what tips the scales between a life that is worthwhile and one that is tragic. In all of this, I, of course, agree that love is what counts most. It's something that we all seem to remember most of the time. But in my work as a minister, it is the thing I see people most prone to forget when difficult changes bring disappointment to our doorsteps. And that is why I think that disappointment packs such a powerful punch. It can divert our attention away from what truly matters, often distancing us from the very love we need to overcome life's hurts, even sometimes inviting us down the unhelpful path of anger and resentment. I've seen disappointment do its most insidious work when it leads us to believe that all is lost, and that the sacred ties that bind our lives one to another are well beyond repair. We allow disappointment to win when we sacrifice on its altar the future of our relationships or the hopes and dreams that give our lives meaning and purpose. Disappointment may indeed at times spell a dead end, but it also often provides the gift of hard-won wisdom that can be ours for the taking. If we will only heed that wisdom, taking from it whatever bittersweet lesson is to be had, life's disappointments can often bring unexpected blessings. In this way, disappointment can lead us to deeper living. Writing at the turn of the 18th century, Joseph Addison put it this way: "Our real blessings often appear to us in the shape of pains, losses, and disappointments. But let us have patience," he said, "and we soon shall see them in their proper light." The patience that Addison refers to implies the passage of time. And while time certainly can help, it must also be said that time alone won't and can't heal everything. Healing from disappointment, I believe, demands something more of us, and I think that more comes from our values. At the heart of our faith as Unitarians is, I believe, an abiding hope for reconciliation and restoration, for tikkun olam, for the healing of the world, to borrow a phrase from our Jewish friends. Our first and seventh principles, which uphold the dignity of the individual and the sanctity of the web of life, call us to a quality of relationship that can overcome disappointment with forgiveness and acceptance and grace. Those can be loaded words, and they are very human words that speak to a willingness to move ahead together, even amid hurt and heartbreak, by saying yes to life as we go, by not letting our disappointments have the final say. I've been recently mulling over the wisdom from Theodore Parker, who some 2 centuries ago said that disappointment is the salt of life. Considering the various qualities of salt, I've marveled at the many ways his statement still rings true. Much like salt, disappointment does indeed give flavor to our lives. And as we all know too well, it can sting, burning into a wound like little else. But there is also a preservative property to salt, and I dare say to disappointment too. I see that preservative potential in all that I've just said about forgiveness and acceptance and grace, in the commitments we make in our hearts to pick up the pieces and forge ahead when all might otherwise seem to be lost. I do think the Rolling Stones got it right on this one. We can't always get what we want, but we can very often, with some work, get what we need. This is a lesson to carry with us through this strange season of our lives as we navigate the 1,000 little losses that have come with the pandemic. The story of how we thought this leg of our life's journey would play out has been radically rewritten for most of us. And while there have been some silver linings and unexpected blessings from this ordeal, it has also challenged us and changed us with many disappointments along the way. We are hopefully near or even beyond the halfway point in this global crisis. The coming months will be a test of our endurance and of our commitment to the well-being of everyone around us. No small part of this test, of making it through this time as best we can, is spiritual in nature. For it ultimately comes down to our ability to find the inner peace to carry us through these difficult days. That means being real about our predicament, accepting our disappointments and grieving our losses, even while we work to save what can be saved. It means coming to terms with the challenge of change and with the loss that comes with deep disappointment. And from all of that, summoning from a deep sense of peace the strength to carry on. Many different religious traditions speak to finding this type of peace, but none, to my mind, as powerfully as Buddhism with its sense of equanimity. Equanimity is not a detached indifference, but it is instead an unshakable evenness of mind, no matter the surrounding circumstances, that is achieved through intention and regular spiritual practices that deepen our capacity for mindfulness, compassion, and loving kindness. In these trying times, my hope for each of you is that you might find the balance of equanimity to carry you through, that amid the changes now upon us, you may be able to find peace, accepting life's losses as they come and letting go of its disappointments. For such a peace is a wondrous gift in any season, no matter how well it is wrapped up. Amen.